Hello there, and welcome back to The Watchers Lockdown Special. I'm Terence Marshman-Edwards.
I'm Matthew Ford.
And I'm Rhys Jones. What are we going to talk about now? We're going to talk about the state of play, where things lie, we're Movie Bus. This is our season normally. This is normally the start of the summer season. This is normally when the big movies are in the cinema and we are ready to go. There's nothing to watch. The cinemas are shut. It's shut. The pandemic shut the cinemas. You cannot go and see them. At the time of them shutting, a couple of big movies did come out. At the time, there was the big Vin Diesel comic book movie Bloodshot. There was the new version of The Invisible Man. Just to name two. There was also the release of Trolls, the third Troll movie, which, funnily enough, has now gone on to make more money than the original Trolls did in the cinema. What they've done, these clever studios, is they have actually quickly released these films straight onto streaming services. But it's interesting because, it's not just those that have done that new model. The other studios are now looking at doing it. There's a couple of films that are now ready that were going to be theatrical releases. They're now going to be released as streaming. There's Scoob, the new Scooby-Doo prequel that was going to come out in the cinema. That looks like it's going to come out straight to her home market. And Artemis Fowl, which was this big budget Disney movie that was never meant for streaming, is going to go straight to Disney+. It's unprecedented in many ways, but in the movie world, this is insane. So we're going to quickly talk about some of the new state of play, where things fit in. When are we going to get to see the films we've been looking forward to? When? Because these are just dates that are hot off the press today and the last couple of days. Matt, go forth, my friend, and tell us what's going on in the world of horror.
I have good news and I have bad news, so I'm going to rattle through these. A Quiet Place Part 2. Was really looking forward to this because according to test screenings, audiences thought it was as good as the first film. It's been delayed indefinitely. There is no announcement as to when we're going to see that.
Really?
No,
Indefinitely?
Yeah. Indefinitely. Quiet Place 2. Halloween Kills is supposed to be coming out on October the 16th, but there is a massive question mark over that one. Hasn't been postponed yet, but as I say, question mark over whether we'll see that on its release date. Candyman reboot. To be honest, I'm not. If it wasn't Jordan Peele producing it, it's supposed to be coming out on June the 12th. Not anymore. It's been pushed back to 25th of September. We're supposed to be having The Conjuring 3 coming out. That was supposed to be September the 11th. There's no announcement that's been delayed, but considering everything else that's going on, whether that'll happen, who knows?
So we're waiting on news if The Conjuring will materialise.
Yes, like it. Very good. Edgar Wright's new film, Last Night in Soho. He's going into horror territory. That was supposed to be 25th of September. It is now unscheduled.
Oh, man.
Malignant, which was James Wan's return to horror after doing Aquaman, Star Trek Beyond, one of the Fast and Furious movies, his first horror film for a good while. That has been delayed to October 2021.
So they're going for the following Halloween market, aren't they?
And then finally, Spiral, Chris Rock's Saw reboot, should have been out in the next couple of weeks, May the 15th. It's been delayed, and there is currently no announcement as to when it's going to see the light of day. So, yeah. For horror, it's not great.
It's not very super, but what is, Tez? Thank you very much.
That was dreadful.
I love that, Link. Carry on.
The MCU, they decided to change the release date of Black Widow because that was supposed to be May the 1st. It's supposed to be this week. What that has done by delaying that, it's caused a domino effect. What has essentially happened is they have shifted everything slightly. So Black Widow has taken the Eternals place, Eternals has taken Shang-Chi, blah, blah, blah. Black Widow will now be out on November the 6th of this year. The Eternals will be out February the 12th, 2021. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, that is going to May the 7th, 2021. The third in the Marvel Sony Spider-Man Home trilogy, because they have now said, Amy Pascal has said that the third one will have the word home in it. Spider-Man working from home, maybe. Who knows?
Go home.
Yeah, that is now the 5th of November. So you've kind of got 3 in 2021. Going into 2022, now it says that Thor, Love and Thunder, is going to be February the 18th, 2022. But Reese, you were saying that Chris Hemsworth has basically said that at the moment it's still a little in the air because they're not filming. Is that right?
They've put out this announcement and this release date, but he was in an interview and it came out online literally today all over. He's basically said that he's on stand down. There's no date or start date or filming. So this release date is either going to put them very much against it if Marvel's going to say this is the release date, this is what's going to happen. The star of this microcosm franchise that is Thor doesn't know when film is going to happen. That's telling.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness has moved from 2021 to March the 25th, 2022. It's the second time that film has moved. It was originally supposed to be May of 2021, then November 2021, and now March 2022. 2022 will also now see the release of Black Panther 2 in May and Captain Marvel 2 in July. So that's going to be 4, if things stay as they are, that will be 4 Marvel films within the first 7 months of 2022. Yeah. Can you say oversaturation of the market?
Oh, you know my thoughts on Marvel at the moment. This is
dodgy
ground.
Yeah. I know. But at least there isn't an Avengers film, so swings around about. Sticking with superheroes at the moment, these are films. They're not technically. Well, they're not. I say they're not MCU, but if you've seen the Morbius trailer,
Michael Keaton's Vulture is in there.
I was going to say the argument could be made that it is actually linking in. Anyway, I kind of forgot about Morbius. I've got to be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
Only because, it just kind of like, when we were looking through and kind of seeing when things had been postponed to, I was like, oh yeah, that's the thing. So Morbius is now coming out on the March the 19th, 2021. And then a couple of months later is going to be the sequel to Venom, which has now been called Venom, Let There Be Carnage. You've seen the original film. You will realise that relates to Woody Harrelson, who popped up in the mid-credits wearing a ridiculous carrot top wig and chewing the scenery. So Carnage is back. What a shocker. So 2021 and 2022, superhero movies a go-go, pretty much.
But don't forget, you've mentioned them, but there is a particular non-Marvel or Marvel Cinema Universe film that has seen hell of a limbo, and it had a release date finally this summer. It was the final X-Men movie under the banner of 20th Century Fox, which was New Mutants, which is just in limbo. Again, there's no scheduled date for that. It's just gone through hell.
It's such a torrid time to get it made. I mean, this has been going on, 3 years, maybe more?
More, I think. It's like 4 or 5. Yeah. It must be.
I mean, it's quite telling that on an interview at, I think it was one of the events for Game of Thrones Season 8, Maisie Williams, who is in New Mutants, was asked about when is it going to happen. Her exact words, fuck knows when we're going to see that. And that was pre this all happening. So
excellent media training there, Maisie.
Yeah, I think they really just the losses, cut the losses, put it on stream, and put it out of its misery.
Put it on Disney Plus. Get over yourself. Get it out there. I'm going to spin the cape and look at the instead of the House of Mouse's cape. I'm going to look at good old Warner Bros. And the DC Universe, because they've had to, which is not called the DC Universe anymore, but it is the DC Universe. And some films they're not. So basically, this is the lay of the land. Wonder Woman was meant to come out this year. That's now been pushed to August, which is tentatively probably might get released in August. Hopefully August. Then we switch to next year, where a lot of these films were going to come out next year, but they've just been moved around a little bit. The Suicide Squad 2, that's now going to be released in August 2021. The Batman was 25% filmed. They'd only managed a quarter of the filming of this film. And it's now been pushed right back to October 21, which the fans of Batman, me included, is thinking, that's great. Batman at Halloween? Happy days. But that film needs to get back, and it needs to get filming. They need to finish it. That's the worry. That is anyway. Then you move to December of 2021, and you're into Black Adam with The Rock. This film has been in development for years and years and years, and that man's schedule is insane. So they have got a small window with this man to get that made. Then we come to April of 2022, where this is an interesting one. This is Shazam 2. Think about it though for a second, because Shazam 1 came out in 2019. It's 2 years from now till Shazam 2 comes out. There'll be 3 years between the two films being released. These films are permanently starring children and teenagers. They'll be, 3 years older than they were. It's going to be interesting where they set that film. Are they going to play themselves but younger, but a bit older? It's a whole mind. And then you're looking at June 2022, and you're looking at Flash. Hopefully might get released. Then you're looking at December 2022, and Aquaman 2 is on the slate to finally get a release. That is a long gap again for a sequel. It's the same oversaturation. We've now got Marvel and DC massively oversaturation as with superhero movies. And, let's be fair, DC at the moment has got the stronger ledger of characters that people know.
Yeah, you're not going to get any argument on that from me.
Interesting times ahead. Matt, what about you, my friend? Have you anything last couple?
Last couple, Christmas time, what could be better than a pensioner flying round, breaking the sound barrier? Top Gun Maverick has been delayed to Christmas this year.
You've been waiting 35 years for the sequel. In a couple more months isn't gonna hurt.
This film's been delayed a couple of times. It's the long-awaited final Bond film for Mr. Daniel Craig, No Time to Die.
Originally, it was going to be out last November. He had an accident on set, slowed down the production. Right. Then it got pushed to April of this year, which is a weird time of year for James Bond to be released anyway. But we were finally going to get to see a new James Bond, the final part we never thought we were going to see with Daniel, as I know him obviously as Daniel. Daniel Craig. But now, it's been moved to November. I was annoyed to say, that's the one that's really annoyed me. It's the biggest one I've been looking forward to this year. But now, in the situation we're in, it's something to look forward to. So please let the cinemas be reopened by time for November and Christmas time, because a Bond film at Christmas is just the icing on the cake that 2020 needs.
The weird thing is with Bond being postponed from April to the end of the year is obviously the publicity had already started. So, you had the Billie Eilish song has been released, the theme tune has been released, which is I really like. I mean, I think it's one that grows on you. Are you there, the paradise? Now you'll never see me cry. There's just no time to die. It's happening everywhere. I mean, all types of films are being shunted around, postponed, moved, put on pause indefinitely. We've talked about horror, we've talked about superhero movies, and animated movies are exactly the same, even though animated movies, as you have proven yourself, Reese, because of how animation is now done, it's the kind of thing that you can have people working remotely on it, and it can get. That said, they've still shunted a couple of things around. Pixar had a new one coming out was supposed to be in June, which is Soul. Which has got Jamie Foxx voicing the lead. That's now moved to November, which has also had a knock-on effect to their next one, which is Raya and the Last Dragon, which has now kind of shunted it further down to 2022. The other one, we're talking about kind of some films have got big gaps. They've been moved all year, like a year back. I've got to be honest, I was kind of hoping to enjoy this one as a pure turn your brain off thing. Minions: The Rise of Gru. That was due out July the 3rd. It's another year.
Talking about things that are being moved to next year and talking about films to look forward to rather than look at the negativity of it, there are 3 films now that I was massively looking forward to. Well, not 2. Massively looking forward to this year. There was one I was interested in watching. That was, one I was interested in watching was Jungle Cruise with Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Emily Blunt, and it just looks stupidly big and Disney and fun. And they've gone down the model of basically taking a ride from their park and making it into a movie, and that's never worked before. That's now been moved to next July. Yes, films that make me do this. I also have films that make me do yes, which is Fast. The Fast and Furious movies. Fast 9 has been moved an entire year to next April, which is massively rolling on, because then Fast 10 will be moved down the line, and Hobbs and Shaw 2, and yada, yada, yada. That's horrendous. But the one this year that I was really excited about by the trailer and has now been shifted to March of 2021 is Ghostbusters Afterlife. That's the one I'm really gutted I'm not going to get to see this year.
As you say, rather than just frame it that you've now got something to look forward to.
So true, Ted. The only way to think about this is to think about the positives and to not weigh you down. There's bigger things to worry about in the world at the moment. And us poor little geeks not getting to see our films on time is not the biggest anything in the world. There is this one thought that we want to leave you on. We've talked about, we talked about in the show before, feel-good films to watch and things to watch at this moment in time, and also what to look forward to in the future when they finally release the new films. There are 3 films that we're going to tell you to stay away from at this moment in time when you are in lockdown, and they are Quarantine,
Outbreak, Bloody Monkeys and Kevin Spacey,
and Pandemic. Give that a miss.
And with that in mind, stay safe. We'll see you all soon.